This is the Brightin Star 85mm F1.8 for the Nikon Z mount, everybody. Using this lens for several weeks now. I've taken it on a couple of portrait sessions, and I want to share with you guys my experience using this lens. Now, this is Brightin Star's first full frame lens with autofocusing, if I'm not mistaken. This is an 85mm, and with an 85mm, that's your standard portrait photography focal length, and it's built quite well for the first full frame lens. Lens is metal construction. It has a focusing ring. It is well dampened, and the aperture ring as well. But I gotta say that the aperture ring is declicked. I wish it was clicked, meaning if you change your aperture, this way, you're not going to get that feedback that to know that you have changed the aperture. So for this reason, I actually turned the aperture ring all the way to the A and changed my aperture with my front wheel dial on my Nikon Z8. At the back of the lens, you also have the USB-C port for firmware updates. On the side of the lens, you also have the AF/MF toggle switch, and as well as another FN button right here, so you can program that to be whatever you want. The lens has a 62mm filter thread size. I actually thought this lens would be a bit bigger, but to tell you the truth, this lens feels light and it looks pretty compact for a full frame 85mm f1.8 lens. My Fujifilm XF 56mm f1.2 looks fatter than this. When it comes to autofocusing, I thought it did a decent job. It's not the quickest and the snappiest that I've been using with my Nikon Z8. Perhaps it's because this lens from Brightin Star uses the STM motors, and it's not like quick like other linear motors, other lenses with linear motors inside. So with that being said, when I was telling like my subjects to move around, there are instances where the focusing couldn't keep up with the movement. It will lag a little bit before it catches up. However, in static scenes, in scenes that doesn't require much movement, this lens does a good job. When it comes to the image quality, I got some surprisingly good shots with this lens. The photos that I got were sharp, wide open, and I really enjoyed the look that is coming out of this lens. The lens produces a great amount of contrast and detail on my Nikon Z8, which is a 45 megapixel sensor. Even at f1.8, there's still a good amount of separation from the background. The bokeh is nice and smooth. There's nothing out of the ordinary for me. It's a very clean looking lens. However, once you shoot backlight, this is where you're going to run into flaring, and this lens does flare. And depending on how you use it, it may be a stylistic choice, or it may be a ruined shot. On some angles, I did get the lens to give me a rainbow flare, which was pretty cool. But again, if you don't want flares in your shots, you have to be mindful of it. There are some cases where when I did get hit the flare on a golden hour shoot, it looks really beautiful. It just looks like it was part of the sun. So again, depending on how you use it, right? There are some minor purple fringing. You can see it if you look for it. For the price of this lens, right now it's going for like 300 bucks. And for f1.8 85mm lens, that's a pretty sweet deal. Considering that the Nikon has their own 85mm f1.8 lens, and that lens is retailing for around 800 bucks. So I think this lens is great for beginners who are just starting to get into portrait photography. And if you just got yourself a Nikon Z5, which is an interesting entry-level camera, you're going to need something to pair with that camera. If you want to get something affordable, takes great images, sharp, travel-friendly, lightweight, decent autofocus, you can't go wrong with the Brightin Star 85mm f1.8. Seriously, I am quite impressed with Brightin Star as a company lately. They are killing it with all these lenses they have been releasing lately. They are one of those companies that are flying underneath the radar. I really do enjoy shooting with their lenses. If you're interested in this lens, I'll leave the link down in the description below, and let me know your thoughts. What do you think of this lens? And yeah, consider subscribing for more photography or gear review on this channel. And thanks so much for watching.